Hey, fellow nerds, Shorty here. Before we get into today's episode, I had a couple quick things I wanted to talk about. First, I want to give a huge shout out to you guys. I appreciate you dearly, whether this is your first time tuning in or you've been watching for the entire year that we've been playing, which is crazy to say. The stream has had a lot of trials and tribulations, scheduling issues, cast changes, and obviously being produced and edited in a tiny bedroom gives it its quirks. So I appreciate you sticking through and watching regardless. Second, we're kicking into high gear. It's year 2 at Loomis. The story is changing and new things are developing. But with that comes a couple of heavy topics that I wanted to warn you guys about. I'll be sure to put warnings at the beginning of the episodes where they come up. I just wanted to catch it now to let you guys know ahead of time that this might be suited for a little bit more of a mature audience. So regardless, let's get into the episode. It's going to be a ton of fun. Thank you guys for watching, and welcome to year 2. You guys see a calm stretch of water, gentle waves crashing into a rocky shore. The shore slowly fades, the sound of the waves crashing and the birds kind of fading out until just the gentlest sound of waves echoes through a cavern in the side of this hill. In this shore that we're at, there's an illusory wall, a cave that is nearly impossible to find, except for those who know where to look, namely the party. The sun reflecting off the waves, it casts these great flowing light waves across the tall rocky spires and the coastal wall. This sort of fills this coastline. But there is one span of the wall that has no such reflection. So we go inside through the fake wall there, where the smell of rot and death grows stronger and stronger, seasoned with the salty air. The sound of the waves slowly disappears into the background as it is replaced by the sound of hurried feet, metal striking metal, and weirdly enough, a 4-piece band. You guys hear the thrumming of a upright bass, the bipping and bopping of a xylophone, a steady rhythmic thumping of a bass drum, and a very soulful singer, which will be a pun that you guys will understand in a minute. And I'm going to take us to the roll 20 so you guys can see what we're working with. We're in a cave. Smells terrible. It's salty. It's pirates. Why would it smell good? But the main thing that you need to know is that there is a 4-piece band in the corner of 2 skeletons, a zombie, and a ghost, and all of you are surrounded by enemies. I don't need you to roll initiative. I already did that for you. You're welcome. So,
I'm my first. Come on.
Hey,
Per tradition.
it's
What the
tradition.
fuck?
I'm just happy that I got a freaking 18. That's unheard of.
You right?
Wow. And they got low. What?
I'm going to be honest. I picked these. I did not roll them. This is all narrative. Don't worry
Of
about
course
the rest
you
of
did.
it.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
So, to start, in this large room with the band in the corner, a shoddy, broken wooden dance floor at the center, skeletons and zombies sprawl throughout this cave. You guys have been led here by an adventurer named Jasper. He is a pirate who actually is taking over his father's pirating company. Sadly, though, his father died, and all of his half undead followers became full undead, no longer animated by his father. So now this cavern is crawling with hostile friends of Jasper's, I guess. But they're no longer alive. He doesn't feel bad about killing them. So you're here, you're searching for his dad's like hidden treasure. You found the cavern, you took his boat here, and now you were just clearing the place out. The first thing we see is Zim. Huge, large, and empowered, bigger than you guys have known him to be before. If he stands up on his hind legs, he is probably taller than some of the party members, standing close to 5.5 feet tall. He jumps through the air, tackles the skeleton, lands on the ground, and bites it. Izzy, what element are you going to have Zim attuned to for this fight?
We'll use the new yellow lightning.
Yeah. So he tackles the skeleton on the ground, bites it right at the center in the spine, and electricity arcs everywhere. Skeleton pops apart, falls down. And then we follow a flamed arrow all the way down a beautiful wooden bow tipped with this black stone top. And we see Gwen's eye focused down the shaft of the arrow. Gwen, will you roll me an attack with advantage?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
There it is. Oh god, 16.
16's gonna hit. Go ahead and
All
roll
right.
damage, and Zim is going to empower this, so you're gonna get an extra 2d6 lightning damage.
Cool. I got a 6. Can I also add like my hunter's mark?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then that's a bonus 2.
Okay, so 8, and then the 2d6 lightning.
Yes. Oh, do you want me to roll the 2d6 lightning?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
That is an 8.
Let's go. 16 points of damage, well over the zombie's max. You decimate this thing, an arrow through the head pops and rolls off along the ground. You hear that the ghost, the lead singer of this little 4-piece band that they got, stop singing and just boo. Fun for you. You pop the head off of this zombie. You have been shooting arrows litter some of these undead. Go ahead. Tell us how Gwen looks. It's been a couple of months. What's changed about her?
Kind of as when you see like the arrow kind of whiz past her face, you can notice that the horn on the opposite side that she's aiming, which is her left horn, has been broken off, and pretty severely too. But other than that, she hasn't really changed at all. Still her good old self. Just a little bit of damage.
Still her fun self. You love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. Love it. So that arrow finds purchase. It knocks the head off of one of these zombies. One of those zombies, there were 4 of, now only 3 that were Saris. You are holding back with your greatsword. They are clambering over, reaching and attempting to attack you. None of their hits really landing. But now that you have one of them down, thanks to Gwen, you see an opening. If you shove them back and swing, you can probably take all 3 of them out at once.
So roll to attack?
If you would like to.
I would love to. Don't know how to attack 3 with each, but I'll go with it. That's a 19.
That's definitely going to hit. Go ahead, start with rolling damage. You can add smite if you would like. And I'm going to say that any excess damage, if you're trying to swing through these things...
No, Shorty, that's a natural 19.
Oh! For the first time since you got this thing, a 19 is going to crit for you. So you're adding smite, for sure.
Yeah.
It's so long.
I'm gonna go ahead and say 2nd level smite.
Yes, sir.
So 10, 15, 20, 24 plus 5, 29 plus 12 is 41 plus 32 is 73.
73 points of damage.
Yeah.
All 3 zombies in front of you, you cleave through them in one fell swoop. Every single one of them dropping to 0 hit points and falling on the ground in front of you. There is a stench of death in the air. You have like pus and like old dried blood and goo sopping on your sword and armor, but all 3 of them are dead. You hit all 3, and then Jasper calls out to you. He's like, "Hey, friend, why don't you help me take care of these ones over here?"
Coming right up.
So Jasper calls you over. He's taking care of... He kind of jumps up on the stage, and he starts hitting 2 skeletons at once, leaving the ghost and the skeleton for you if you want to attack one.
I'll do the ghost because the ghost looks like the leader.
Sweet.
Uh, 13, 21 to hit.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's 8 plus 5, 13 regular slashing, and then only 5 radiant damage from smite.
Sick. You hit the ghost. Your sword kind of goes through it. Is your greatsword magical?
It is not magical.
Okay, so it resists the
That's why I
physical
split it up for
damage.
you, yeah.
Yeah. So you deal a little bit of damage, not a ton. Why did I mark Jasper as dead? Oh no. Jasper runs up. He has 2 scimitars that he's wielding. He's bouncing between both the skeleton and zombie. They're really easy to kill, so they fall really fast. And you hit that ghost. After that, Athera, you are standing in the middle of this wooden floor surrounded by almost mounds of skeletal corpses that have been burst apart by your magic, by Leo's help. You walk through and wave your hands, and vines pull the bones out of your way so you can step through as you're slowly approaching between Leo and Ava. And as of right now, there is one skeleton standing in front of you that you can absolutely attack, or you can leave that one for Leo. Your choice.
So as she's doing that, she's also, there's like a storm cloud overhead and everything, and she's been concentrating on like the lightning spell that she has. So there's like some of those zombies they have like sparks still coming off of them from where she obliterated it. She just watched Ava run away from Leo because Leo attempted to heal her and Ava was angry, and ran away to the other side. So she kind of moved the zombies away. She comes up and she looks at both of them and she goes, "You both have been acting like children ever since the semester started. You're avoiding each other half the time and bickering the other half, and it's affecting the group. It's time for you two to talk and move on. Ava, you go first." And then she casts lightning bolt and hits the ghost that Rosari's was trying to hit.
Hell yes. I'm going to say that you can hit both the skeleton and the ghost, so I'll roll dex saves. That's 1... What's your spell save DC?
15.
Okay, both of them fail, so go ahead and give me damage.
$17.
Ooh. The ghost is close to dead. And as a matter of fact, you tossed it to Ava, but before we do that, Rosaris, I forgot to tell you, Lucian has you hasted. We're picking up in the middle of combat. I know how you guys operate. Make a third attack.
Don't God tell me twice. 11 plus 8 is 19.
Yep, minimum damage kills this ghost. In one fell swoop, you guys have cleared this stage of the little 4-piece band. Their instruments or bodies, or both, clattering, the ghost kind of exploding into this ethereal mist, and then that coalesces into like a weird translucent goo on the floor. All of them are dead. So we leave it from Ava saying, or Athera saying, "Ava, you have to, come talk about this." Anything else, Athera?
That's it. She stays there. She's given them both direct eye contact. A little bit pissed off.
For sure. Ava, you are dancing between enemies right now. There are 2 skeletons and a zombie that are swiping at you and attacking you. Both the skeletons have spears, and you are tiptoeing between them, the floor barely creaking underneath you as your feet glide and slide across. You are dodging these 3 enemies. How would you like to start your turn?
By replying, I guess. She looks pretty angry herself. She just looks at Athera for a second and says, "No! What is there to talk about? I don't like him. He's an idiot. And as long as he doesn't touch me, we're all fine."
Fantastic. Do you want to attack one of these enemies?
Yeah, I do.
Let's go.
Are you letting me do this? You didn't let anyone else?
I mean, yeah. Other people made
I'll
attacks.
do it.
Do you want to attack one of the 3 surrounding you?
I do, but I want to do it with my new thing.
Yeah. Go ahead, narrate it out, and then I'll have
Okay.
you do rolls.
All right. So as she's like, she actually turns from Athera to Leo when she says, "As long as he stays away from me, we're all gonna be fine." And she takes out a long black barbed whip and just cracks it on the floor. And then turns to one of the zombies in front of her and kind of spins it and then makes it
For
an
sure.
attack.
Well, there is a zombie directly in front of you, so let's go ahead and do that one.
Yeah. So that is a dirty 20.
Definitely hits. Their AC is like 8.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. I don't really know if I'm gonna do it anyway. So as she hits it, she's gonna try to restrain it.
For sure.
So it's gonna wrap around it. But as it hits him, it's glowing with like a gray aura. Because she's doing booming blade. Because I can do that with this whip. And let's see what the damage is.
Do you get sneak attack for this?
I do.
'Cause there's-
No, wait. Hold on.
I don't know
No,
if
he's
it-
not within 5 feet of his allies.
Yeah, I was about to say,
right?
he's
Oh, no,
not
he
within 5 feet of
is.
anyone but you.
Dang. Well, okay. Is he? No.
You're within 5
he
feet of the
isn't.
enemies. He is
Oh,
not.
yeah. No, yeah, I can do it then.
Cool.
As long as his friends aren't next to him, basically. So, I'm only going to do 2d6 of... So, that's only 6 for sneak attack. And he has to make a dex save.
He failed.
And then
He rolled
8.
a 6.
Okay, and 8 for booming blade.
Yeah, he's already at 0. You crack your whip and then fling it, and it wraps around this zombie, and you're hitting it and wrapping it so tight, you pull on it, and his zombie body kind of just breaks apart underneath the whip, and like an arm falls out, his hip dislodges, and he just crumples to the ground and dies in front of you.
And then she looks back at Leo very angrily.
As you do all of that, the two around you are going to roll, and your AC is 18 now.
Yes, it is.
All right, so one's going to hit, one will not. That one is going to deal 12 points of damage as a spear stabs into your back from one of the skeletons, just in time for you to dodge the other. That's Ava. Next, we actually go to Lucian. Lucian, you are holding haste on Rosaries. You're trying to stay out of the fray. You're flinging stars off your robes, healing people, helping. Will you give me a perception check?
Yeah.
And will you yell your result out?
14.
Sick. Zombies are not stealthy. You hear one clambering around behind you, attempting to kind of sneak up on you. That's coming around this way. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and you instinctively just flick your hand to the left and cast shield, and it stops the zombie where it's at. It's trying to reach around and catch you, but as soon as that shield drops, that thing's going to grab you. So you are kind of a little locked in place, and if you attempt to move away, it does get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. As the spear's going back of Ava, we're like, Ava, behind you! And then I'm going to misty step down towards Rosaries and everyone else.
I hate to tell you this, because I don't like railroading you guys, but from what I predicted you would do in this turn, I said that you were casting those stars as your bonus action, and this is your reaction.
Oh.
Casting shield. I'm letting you
Oh.
decide whether or not you want to attempt to run away from this zombie, or if you trust one of your party members to come help you.
I'll have to run away from
All right, you can attempt to
God,
move,
God.
but it's going to make an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, that is before you move. So you know where you can move. You're up
Yeah.
here. I'm gonna need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, that natural one. Jesus Christ.
You're gonna take 13 points of bludgeoning damage as the zombie.
Oh,
You're moving
damn.
away, and it hits you hard. You cast the shield and start moving, and then you turn your attention back. And as soon as you do, it clambers forward and smacks you upside the head. You already have brain trauma. It's so bad.
Oh,
On a
no.
nat 1 strength save, you are knocked prone right there in front of the zombie.
Oh my god.
I don't know where the thing for prone is. There it is.
I still have my action, right?
Potentially.
What's that mean?
I mean, I'm ready to move on because I think you getting knocked down is like
Fair
hurting you a
enough.
lot.
Fair
I will let you, if you want to speak at all, like call out to the party and talk.
I'd be like, help.
Very calmly. Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
Give him a little
Someone-
life alert.
Someone get Lucian a life alert for sure. For our last one, Leo, you slam down the sword that you're using, made by Rosaries, blue lightning crackling and surging, arcing everywhere as you hit this much stronger zombie-like creature in front of you, but this one is wearing armor. This one is wielding a curved sword and a shield. It is giving you a fight back, but you're taking it on. It smells horrible. It looks like a horrific zombie creature. Like the lips are broken off and the skin is all dried, so it's showing the bare teeth the entire time. The eyes are sunken and dark, kind of glowing red. You've already struck this enemy once before and you dealt some damage to it, but it's still sitting pretty healthy. It is your turn. You can either attack this creature or try to go help Lucian.
I'm going to try to help Lucian.
That boy.
I'm going to completely ignore Ava. And I'm going to use Cortean Strike to teleport right next to this guy.
Hell yeah, you are. I'll even let you, if you want to teleport like over Lucian and block his body, you can do that
Okay,
since he's
dude.
prone. So I'll just move Lucian
Fucking
down one. Move you
Let's
right
go.
there. Cool.
Hell
Cortean
yeah.
Strike, you make a melee attack. Go ahead. Do you get advantage on that? I need to look up my own spell.
That's... I get advantage on the next attack.
Hell yeah, you do.
Where the fuck is my soul? Right there. That is a 15. Wait, I get advantage. It's also a 15. So
sick.
15.
15 to hit is going to hit. Go ahead. You can roll damage. You can do the 48 from Cortean Strike and your normal sword damage, which is 1d8 because you have a shield.
1d8.
Yeah.
A 4d8 is 17. And then the slash is 7.
It's already dead. That 17 was enough to kill it. You teleport over with a crack of lightning and swing your hammer down. That storm cloud that Aethera conjured, a bolt of lightning strikes this zombie as you hit it with your sword. It completely just like eviscerates it. Half of its body turns to ash. And you're standing over Lucian as he is knocked prone.
Thanks, bro.
Beautiful. I got you. That's all I can do right now.
Hell yes. Well, the band is done. The music stops playing. So these undead are no longer as powerful as they once were. So sweeping up the rest, I'm not going to make you guys go through and roll attacks. This would be a breeze. Between Zim being powered up, Gwen having flame arrows, Rosaries being hasted, it would be less than a turn before all of these things are effectively killed and knocked out. So that is a successful combat, but not a successful conversation. It's very clear to Aethera that Leo just completely ignored that part of the conversation. At least Ava responded, even if it wasn't great.
I had to save Lucian. I'm just saying. Yeah. Priorities.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm gonna reach up a hand towards Leah, like, "There's the still on the floor."
Oh yeah, I'm gonna help Lucian up.
Zombies hit hard,
Yeah, especially when they come up
Right.
behind you, right?
yeah.
I'm gonna go over to Ava and be like, you're not looking too good, are you?
He's just gonna like limp away over to this rock and kind of hold her back. No, I'm
And
fine.
heal it. I'm gonna cast Healing Word from where I am, and not go near her.
Excuse you?
It's happening.
Leo, rethink that.
No, ma'am. I already rolled it. Can't take it back now. You got 7.
I'll take 7, but she's gonna charge you, so she's going to run over to you and just slap you in the face. I told you not to touch me with your filthy healing.
I didn't touch you, though. Hey, can I dodge that slap?
I'll
My
let you
slap
choose.
does 0 damage.
I mean, you could still attempt to like not take it. I'll let you choose strength or dex save. Strength to like grab her hand, dex to like move out of the way.
Ah, fuck, Dex is. I'm gonna do Dex.
Okay. Ava, we're gonna say that the D. What's your bonus?
Oh
to...
shit, nat 20. What?
Never mind. I take it back.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, yo, give him a chance.
But he has a -1, though. Just saying.
On a nat 20, I gotta honor it. You walk up and you go to slap him, and right at the last moment, Leo is still like powered up from the spell, so it's almost like a tiny bit of like a flash of lightning, and he's like 6 inches behind where you went to slap as you like step back really quickly.
You're so lucky you dodged my 0 damage attack, you bastard.
When that happens, Athera kind of like chased after Ava, and she's casts Entangle.
What?
And I'm gonna ask
No!
because they're clearly distracted that they automatically fail, and the goal is to grab them both and hold them away from each other while also dragging like Lucian out of the way.
You know
so
what?
that they're stuck there.
Yeah, I'm gonna allow this because they were so locked in on each other. You cast Entangle, vines burst up from the floor and wrap around both of their legs. A couple of vines like pull Lucian away from them too. While all of this is happening, Jasper's gonna walk up to Rosarius, who like haste has fallen on you by this point, so he kind of like helps you not fall down. He's like, "Hey, while they're do they argue this often? Is that a thing that they do?"
Usually it's a little bit more intense. It's a little mild today.
Really?
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Oh, now that's interesting. Well, do you want to go help me search for the, the thing we're actually here for, the treasure? It's hidden somewhere.
That is what my job is, so I'll go with you.
Great.
They'll figure it out.
That sounds good. Yeah, you guys head off, walk to a different room, going to adventure and see if you can't find the treasure room somewhere. I'm gonna move y'all. But
Best
at this
make sure
point,
Ava doesn't find it first.
yeah.
I've never stolen anything in my life.
What?
So, Athera, you have them
Not-
entangled. Lucian's brought back. Take it.
I'm gonna turn to Gwen because I can see that she just moved.
Yes. What's up?
I'm gonna say, I can handle these two. Would you get Lucian some more healing and maybe not in the middle of what could end up being a fight?
Yeah, I can only do a little bit though, so.
I'd ask for sorry so you can do more.
Alright. Give me Lucian. I'm gonna tap aid on him, but also put the aid towards Athera and I guess Ava.
So all of you guys get 5. You're just a little beefed up for now. You grab Lucian, you take him off to the other part of the cave that Jasper and Rosarius are heading to, so you guys kind of disappear for now.
And then I'm gonna turn to those two and I'm just be like, look, you two have been fighting ever since we left Stonewall, really. And it's it's affecting the team. And getting violent, and Ava, you're refusing healing when you critically need it, which is just dumb. So, you two need to sort this out now. Or I'm not gonna let you out of these vines until you do. So, Ava?
Honestly, I feel like only one of us has been fighting. Yeah.
Well, I
Leo,
feel like only one of
you're
us
not been
deserves
helping.
it.
Okay, one at a time, really. Ava, why don't you start? You talk. You're clearly the more passionate.
What is there to say? I don't like him. He's an idiot. This has all been said before. He's a sheep, brainless little sheep, following the leader, doing what he's told. He's no different than any other holy person I know.
Shouldn't you, of all people, understand that information is the greatest weapon?
That I can't agree with. But you, Leo, not when it's you.
All right. I'm not exactly sure why you're so angry, to be completely honest.
Because
If anything, this is very beneficial to all of us.
really? Really, is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, I know that you love to play the good guy. You always think you're doing the best, right? But you really only care about yourself. Not anyone else. And one day you're just gonna turn your back on us and walk away. I mean, wait, right, Lasilda was her name, right? Yeah. Your closest friend in Loomis, and you let her rot in a dungeon for 2 weeks and then die? Because you are all about yourself, right? Come on, Athera.
I think your
Does he have you
perception-
fooled too?
That's a fair enough point, but we have to move. We have to find some kind of common ground.
Alright. Okay, Athera. Think about this. Okay? Cares about himself. So, the sword. It decimated an entire city, killed thousands of people, yes? One day, Leo is going to have to make a choice, right? And that's if he's lucky enough to have a choice by then. But what do you think the sword is going to do if he says no, refuses a request, or tries to leave? He willingly put us in grave danger. Do you not see that? Because he only cares and thinks about himself. If his information is so important to him that he put us all at a great risk. And you know they're going to ask him to do things. Things that all of us may not like. And he's going to have to, or we die, he dies. Do you see where I'm going with this? Didn't think about any of us. Doesn't care. And she's gonna glare at you. Oh, silent, huh?
I like to think out my responses. Thanks.
Go right ahead.
Do you not think that an impending war between the two, the Cortaians and Turan, doesn't already put us in danger? It's already at work.
It's not just us, it's the whole, I guess, entire world, but no.
Right, so everyone's already in danger. Ava.
Leo, you're missing my point here.
No,
You're
I
just
think all missing
skedaddling
the point.
around it here.
I'm not. I'm thinking.
You are,
logically
Leo.
here.
Because you know what? If you went missing for a day and I thought you were in danger, I would drop everything to look for you and make sure that you were okay. You willingly put us all in danger because you think you know what's best. This will be no good for any of us. You made up your mind, that's fine. I see how it is.
All right, I find this very ironic. The person that's been being spied on by doesn't even know who, and didn't tell anyone. And you want to say I'm putting us in danger? At least I told you what happened. At least you know. We know nothing about you, Ava.
I ran away from the church. I did not willingly put anyone in danger.
No one.
You did
is
it
in
knowing we
danger.
might get hurt, right?
No.
So you just didn't think about that. Are you serious?
No one knows that you all are in danger or not, honestly.
Yeah.
And danger is only going to be contingent on if I pass the trial.
Leo, I don't like you, but I'm not willing to lose my spot in Loomis because of you. So fine, if I have to play nice for a little while, then so be it. I'll do it. But the second the sword asks you to do something that I don't like, I will not hesitate to stop you.
That's fair.
Can you let me go now, Athera?
She actually lets Leo go first, and she goes, after you let him heal you completely. Because you've made a valid point. I think it might be unfair to expect you to come to any sort of agreement with what Leo has done, but for the time that we are a team, we need you guys to have some semblance of working together, and so prove to me that you're willing to work with him, and we can move on.
All right. Let me go and I'll prove it. And she just smiles really big.
Can I insight check that?
Insight check, Ava.
Ava.
Always happens. Absolutely.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, she means it, but there might be a little bit of a malicious intent behind that little smile there.
Aetheria's going to loosen the vines with the absolute intention of like gripping them very tight again if Ava makes a run for it.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
restrained. Go ahead, holy boy. Do your worst.
All right. I'm gonna walk up to Ava, and I'm going to put my hand on her shoulder and start casting Cure Wounds. And then I'm gonna say, the one thing that you're going to realize about me is that my strength has never been in my sword, but in my heart. I won't let danger come to any of you. Maybe except for Cyrus. And then I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Perception check for Rosaris? Question mark. No, I'm kidding. I'm
From
kidding.
all the way down.
I got 6.
No, you're kidding. You're
Can I
too
help you
busy
here?
listening to the jingling of
Why?
coins right now.
How much?
That's a good question. It's 15.
Okay. She's gonna lean in and take her whip and kind of brush it against your cheek like a gentle caress, but it hurts because it's a little bit spiky. It like cuts you a little bit, and she says, "Well,
And gonna teleport away.
I hope that your strength is enough to beat an entire army." And she's just gonna shake off the vines and kind of walk away.
Well, as that conversation comes to a close, at the other end of this cavern, Rosaries, Lucian, and Gwen, you guys helped Jasper kind of rummage through this little office space. You see there's like a desk, a wardrobe. There's even a little crib where apparently Jasper used to stay here as a baby while his dad was doing piratey stuff. But you guys do find like a hidden key underneath one of the desk drawers, and it unlocks this door behind a curtain that was hidden, sort of like melded into the stone. And you guys find mounds of gold and a couple magic items, lots of jewels and things like that. Jasper like kicks open one of the chests and is looking around, and he says, "Oh, you guys are gonna be treated today." You spend the time to sit there and count it out. He kind of splits it up, and he made you guys a deal. He said anything that's not unique, like he wants to keep a lot of the like weapons and armor to build up his own crew, but like the gold, the jewels, some of the magic items, he can let those pass. So here's what you guys walk away with. As a party, you guys get 1,191 gold. You get 2 diamonds, 1 opal, 2 rubies, a sapphire, and an emerald. I'm going to screenshot this and send it to y'all. You do not have to
Please.
write it all down.
It's a lot.
He does give out a couple of unique little gifts, though, if you guys would so kindly accept them. He finds a little helmet that, like, the inside of it is completely obscured in shadow, and then when you put it on your head, you can't see your face at all, just a pair of gleaming red eyes. And he looks over at Rosaries and he's like, "You know, you kind of look like you could use this. You're scary."
I'll take that as a compliment. I worked really hard on this. I appreciate it. I'll grab the helmet.
You can add a dread helm to your inventory. I believe it just gives you advantage on intimidation checks. He finds a little leather-bound book. It's kind of this like dusty brown color, but then you open it and on the inside are like pristine, enchanted pages. And he walks over to Lucy and he says, "Now, my daddy showed me this one. I have no use for it. I'm not the wizard type. But this thing looks like it'll last a lot longer than that book you got there." He looks down at your spell book, which is like worn from you using it so much. The quill like scratching the pages. It's all wrinkled and faded. You fully know that you could transcribe over your spell book, and this one is an enduring spell book, meaning fire and water can't damage it, and it basically can't be destroyed accidentally.
What?
And then Gwen, he pulls you over, and he has 3 magic items set aside, and he's like, "I don't need all of these. You can pick." There is a compass and a pearl, and he shows you that the compass always points towards where the pearl's at, so you can like walk around with the pearl and the compass follows. There is a little hat that you can fit and tie around your head, and it lets you breathe underwater. And then there is an amulet, and he says that he doesn't really understand the magic behind it, but apparently it has a little bit of power that just prevents you from failing something once a day. It is a clockwork amulet, meaning once per day, you can take any roll that you make and set it to a 10.
I want that hat.
Hell yeah. He gives you the hat, he takes the rest, and he says that he'll find some use for him. But after that, you guys come back out, and you start exiting the cavern back towards the ship, and headed back off to Loomis from there. So about 2 months have passed since all of the traveling in Aorsha, and all of you have individually picked out things that you have done And I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to, in as much detail as you want to include, to tell us both over the table as players, and then you can even directly say if anything is or isn't known to the other characters, what you've been doing since Aorsha, because you all kind of split up for the most part and go about doing your own things, making money, working jobs, yada yada yada. So I will roll to see who is going first. I'm gonna roll a d6. David's not
Easy.
here, so if
It's always me, dude.
it's always Izzy. If I roll a 3, I'm gonna pick, and if I pick, it's gonna be Izzy. I rolled a 2.
And it's
Danny.
Izzy.
What?
Yes, let's go.
What?
Danny, will you tell us what Ava has been up to since we last left off?
So I don't think probably anybody has seen or heard from Ava because she has been in Ilium all summer. She hasn't
Of
stopped.
course. You don't want to hang with your friends? It's fine.
Sorry, she's got things, you know. So she's been there all summer, and she's been selling her poisons. She's been doing her dancey dances, making that gold, and trying to make some connections within that black market, and also like trying to create new and unique poisons that might get her name out there. She's also been, how do I say this? She's been swindling a bunch of men for more gold and
Nice.
presents. So may have led on a few people, but it's all good. It's fine. I got a bunch of new free stuff, so that's fun. And she's been writing to Tara a lot and talking a lot of shit about Leo, probably exaggerating a lot of it to her in her letters. And she did a little surprise visit one weekend to Kiel to visit Tara and met her mom and went on a few little dates. And that's about it for her.
Fantastic.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Next up, I'll roll a d4. That way we don't accidentally roll David. Jambo, tell us what Lucian has been up to for the past couple months. I bet we could all probably guess, but I'd still like for you to tell us just to confirm it.
So I've been reading books.
So off-brand for you? I cannot believe that.
What?
Bro's
Are
been
you
studious.
joking?
I've visited Valorant a couple times to get a Cloud Spire to do more research, reading more books on the Planar Magics and Azir. I've been making potions out of that whisper weed we got, and doing some experiments and researching on Kima's tears that we got from the Big Dragon Lake thing. And that's about it, really. Just been doing that.
Cool.
Boring stuff.
Just because I haven't given you any information on it yet, 2 things. First, when you're using the actual materials instead of gold to make potions, I hope you're not taking gold out of your inventory. Like, to make the potions with the whisper weed, I think it makes detect thoughts. You don't have to spend gold on that. You just have to spend time and like make the checks and stuff like that. So you successfully have those for sure. Will you give me, and I'm going to call it an investigation check. I think any trying to find information would result in an investigation check, but I'll let you make it with advantage because you're going to Cloudspire.
I got a natural one. Let's see.
Oh.
Hey, 15.
15, not terrible, not the greatest. So you're researching into Kima's tears a little bit. You got a couple vials of it. I don't remember exactly how many. But you don't find anything specifically on Kima, but you do find some really old, like, possibly theoretical study on the effects of, like, dragon parts. You know that there's, like, a really advanced spell that you can't find in the upper levels of Cloudspire that has to do with like dragon scales. But you do start piecing together that even the like products of a dragon's body, such as tears, probably carry some latent magical effects. And on a 15, you don't have an exact knowledge of what those tears could be used for. It might just be up to like creativity, but you do know some of their properties, such as they don't freeze, they don't reflect anything, if I remember correctly. So as long as you have those in your notes, I think you should be fine. All right, now for you three. Watch Izzy go last. Nope, Izzy's turn.
Hey.
Fine.
Middle ain't so bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. After coming back from Aorsha, Gwen would have gone to the nurse's office and gotten fixed up and forced one of the students to go to dinner with her after helping fix her up. So that happened. And then after that, she rests for a few days just to help with her injury that she had. And she works on selling some arrows. And she hides some more whittled creatures around campus. And she hangs out with Thatch and possibly Marnik, the nurse boy. And she attends birthday parties, if there is any, with Leo and Athera.
I
She
do
does
have a
birthday parties alone.
confirmation. I do have a confirmation that Leo would not have a birthday party, at least not that you guys would have. I did talk to David since he was going to be here late, and he's going to spend most of his time in Stonewall, including his birthday. So he won't be there. But you're free to like write him a letter or get him a gift. That's up to y'all.
Yeah, I'll write homie a letter, and Athera, she's probably not gonna have a party on her own, so Gwen will throw her a party and make her a cake.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And then,
Wait, I have a question
then-
for you.
okay,
At this little birthday party, would you pop the question?
What?
what does this mean?
The
What?
question. We've
The-
established that in your second year at Loomis, you get to pick your roommate, and
Oh my god.
No, we talked about this.
You're the one who pops the question.
I popped.
Okay.
Athera's popping the
Mhm.
question.
Okay, I didn't know who was popping who. Sorry, my apologies.
No, we
My
went
apologies.
against the grain. We're doing
Yup.
this unexpected.
Look at that.
Mhm.
All right,
Yup.
cool. All right, well, continue on then. My apologies.
Yeah. Athera pops the question to be her roommate for the upcoming year.
And then Gwen
And-
says we can't because we're in the wrong buildings, and breaks Athera's hearts.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, that never stopped me. And then we go talk to Mr. Green, Professor Green. I don't
Just
know
Mr.
which.
He doesn't.
Okay,
well,
Mr.
actually, I think he does teach a class, but he doesn't like to be called professor.
It's too high and mighty for him. We talked to Mr. Green about potentially being roommates.
Cool. I'm gonna say, give me a persuasion check with advantage because Athera is helping you.
Oh God.
Solid DC 10. It's not that hard.
Is she helping? Is it really helpful?
That's up to you. Does Athera want to do this?
Ooh.
She
good
doesn't
roll.
believe it will
First
succeed,
one.
but she'd be trying.
I got the same exact roll. I got 18.
Ooh.
Hey.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Ooh, indeed. Yeah, you go talk to Mr. Green, and you're both talking to him over the summer, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, why not? Honestly, which building do you want to live in? Do you want to live in the Ranger Rogue building, or do you want to live in the Druid Cleric Bard building?
We should get the room across from Ava's.
Yeah, so we should live in the
No,
rogue.
that has
rogue.
the room across from me.
That was last
It's different
year.
year, different room.
Dang,
New
you're
year, new
right.
me. Yeah, on an 18, he
Surprise parties all the time.
Mm. Yeah, you'll be surprised.
I like it. On an 18, Mr. Green absolutely lets this slide, and he's like, you know, it's not going to hurt anybody. We kind of have the extra rooms. We just like to keep people more manageable, so we don't let people just spread out everywhere, but shouldn't be a problem. Pretty easy.
Cool. Should I say what Zim does for the summer?
Yes, Please.
Okay, I'm just gonna read it off my phone. He chills with Gwen when she recovers, duh. And he's very studious in the library, so Lucian might see him reading, being big brained. And and then he trains with other rangers when Gwen is busy, like with classes that he might think are too boring. And he attends the birthday party with Athera, and he draws on the school walls.
Hell yeah, he does.
That's his summer.
You'll love it. I think Zim would be very disappointed to know that most of the walls do have some level of enchantment, other than the like Marshall building, where you can draw on them and decorate them, but then they fade over the course of like a day.
That's fucked up.
Well,
He's constantly remaking the same mural.
yeah,
Yep.
he's mastering it.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and roll and see if Rosaris or Athera are going next. Odds are Rosaris, evens are Athera. Zach, what has Rosaris been up to over the past couple months?
So for his weekdays, he's pretty much spent the entire time in Spring. 2 days a week, he'd fight in the Coliseum. 3 days a week, he became a smithing apprentice to learn how to craft his Kruthic half plate into Kruthic full plating. And then he did manage to convince the party's favorite Piranum cleric to enchant his armor to be fire resistant. So he now can wear his plate armor in the desert and be fine.
Still going to be a little sweaty, but he's not going to die.
Yeah, that's normal.
That's crazy.
On the weekends, he did start his adventuring academy with the orphans in Ilium. For the most part, it was just like simple missions. Try to play it as like protect or escort the caravan, and we were just getting like the groceries for a little old lady who couldn't get out anymore, and little things like that. Teaching them how to forage, teaching them to watch out for monsters, little things like that.
I know
For
we
the most part-
mentioned it. Would you at all try to reach out to Ava for help with this?
Sounds like it would have been hard to find her, so probably not.
Word.
If I did find her, and Danny, that's up to you, I probably would have had you like sneak around the group to see like if they saw you, they could defend against you, type of thing.
Oh my gosh, can we roll for if he finds me?
Honestly, I'm going to let you decide whether he has advantage or not, like whether you're making yourself easily accessible, like if you're going back to
Keep in mind,
campus.
it's not me, it's the little kids.
Oh, are you wanting to
Now
roll
you're
for the
trying to
little
guilt
kids
me
to find you,
into
or for
advantage.
Rosaris to find you?
Did you make this like a thing for them the whole time that if they could find your red-haired half-elf friend just once this whole summer?
No, but I did now.
Okay, so I
Thanks
need
for the recommendation.
I need clarification before we do anything.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll to see if Rosaris finds you to ask for help, or are you willing to give the help and want to roll for the kids to find you?
I feel like he would need to find me to ask me to do that,
True. Yeah.
right? Because otherwise, maybe they'll just like see me in passing at some point, but I don't know if Rosaris even knows where Ava is, really. So
Well,
it's
you
just
guys-
kind of be like,
You did pass by where you
What?
worked, and they
He
specifically
did.
called it out.
he did, so he could. So I guess I would give him a little bit of advantage because he did see.
I don't know how
And
to
if he's-
roll a little bit of advantage.
Just a
Oh,
half.
so
Just
just a
roll, like-
tiny,
is that, like,
tiny
less?
bit.
Quarter.
I just added
Roll
forward.
A
Yeah.
smaller d20.
A smidgen.
Whatever. I have his +0. It's not like it mattered. That's
You know what?
that's a 6 with advantage.
With dude, are you
Roll it.
rolling?
I rolled a 2 and a 6.
Oh, on regular dice or using D&D Beyond?
No, regular dice.
Go
I
back
have
to
my
D&D
dice right here.
Beyond. Go
No,
back to
got it.
D&D.
You
I
can
will
just
prove-
let
Alright.
him find you.
Nope, I didn't find her. Too bad.
Well,
wanted
you know,
to.
he could just do the whole thing with like, hey, if anybody finds my redheaded friend just one time,
just
this whole-
Start finding random redheaded people. They're
they
like,
just
And
this
bringing
keep
them,
on
and I'm just
bringing
like,
redheads
no,
to you.
good try.
We're actually starting the old conspiracy that people with red hair were the devil. And
Yeah.
Natalie and I take great offense to that.
So much offense.
But no, without anybody's help, I don't think Rosari's would go out of his way to find anybody. So that would have been more in passing for Ava.
Yeah.
Specifically, just didn't want to be around the school very much, especially since Kata wasn't there. There wasn't much reason for me to stay around school. I will say, the one time I saw Echo, I invited her to watch me fight in the Coliseum, and I fought an Etten and beat it barehanded. So
Sure you did, pal.
DM can attest.
I sadly can attest. We just did escalating combats, and I was like, I'm gonna keep throwing shit at you until you die, and then we'll stop there. Where it's like, you didn't fight that one, and he did it. It's it's fine. Also, I want to throw something out to you. We can say that you did hang out with Kata a little bit because she was staying in Ilium for the first like half of the summer, and then for the second half, she actually went off with Sivik to visit home with him again. He invited her back. She took a trip out there. He's rich, so
okay.
hell
Yeah, if that's the case, I would have hung out with her a little bit during the first half of the summer. Problem was, that's when I lost most of my fights in the Coliseum, so she probably made fun of me for a few of those. And then the only other thing is I made a matching set of daggers for me and Echo. The only thing of note is the diamond that's on the hilt of each of them will light up if one of us is about to die.
Hell yeah.
That's so cute.
Very nice.
Morbid.
All right.
We're both fighters. So.
I'm going to roll another die to see who goes next. Oh, look at that. It's Natalie.
Wow.
I mean, David's here now. It could
Yeah,
be.
David
Oh,
is
shit.
here.
Is David here?
David's here.
I mean, he joined the
Yeah,
call.
I'm here.
There
What's
he is.
up?
I still think Natalie should
Let
go
me
now.
We're still
Roll
going to
your
have
D2.
Natalie
Come
go
on.
so David can catch up. So yeah, Natalie, go ahead. I'll get David's camera and stuff put in as soon as he joins.
Cool. Thera has been staying at Lewis. She's been working on her tea making, so she's making some money. Crafting some more intentional teas to help with stuff in the future if needed. Focusing on that communication spell that she was learning that she can't quite do yet, but she's kind of determined to master it before she's supposed to. So keeps trying, and she's just been studying magic in general, trying to get better. And then she has decided to take what she is calling self-studying social lessons, and so she has been wandering around campus, quote unquote people watching and taking notes and trying to learn, like, okay, how do people interact? And if Kata or Barry or any of the Bard people like that she has gotten to know a little bit more are around, she would actually talk to them about it, and ask for advice. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hell yes. As a matter of fact,
How did you feel about me throwing you a birthday party? Hello?
Hello.
Was it a surprise?
Yes. Of course it was. Why wouldn't it be?
She was very, very surprised, and she probably she acted a little perturbed, but she was inside very happy and very grateful.
And better have thought that the cake was good because I made that with blood, sweat, and tears.
Literally.
You know, she's always skeptical about
Knew
Gwen's
there
cooking,
was a
but it
secret
ended up being
ingredient.
right.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Gwen's
That's fucked
recipe
up. You mean
literally
alright?
says like add half a cup of blood.
Chill! Gwen's a good
teaspoon
cook.
tears.
What's going on?
For sure. And then the last one, David, now that you're here, you got here just in time. Give us a
Really
brief
unfortunate.
not really, really fortunate. Come on now.
That's what I
What
meant. Sorry.
little insight check. No. Will you tell us what Leo has been up to for the past couple of months? Just you can tell us as players or as characters. It's up to you. If you want to leave some things a little mysterious, that's fine. But give us at least a little taste.
Leo went home to Stonewall for a little bit and did some training with his brother and picked up a couple odd jobs out there. And then other than that, it's just been training, lifting weights, praying, all of the above.
What'd you do for your birthday?
I went home.
But did you
Went
do
home
anything?
to see. No, I just went home, saw my family, did some training, had my what is it, brother, teach me some things, I guess.
For sure.
All right, you got a letter from Gwen saying happy birthday, love Gwen, XOXO.
Oh, that's super
You
cute.
you also got a letter from Ava, suspiciously in Nathira's handwriting.
You
Says-
also
says the exact same thing.
you also got a
Amazing.
letter from Zim, suspiciously in the handwriting of like a really illiterate toddler.
Cute. This is kind of cute.
He's so smart.
I love it.
Cannot write.
Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, that's the summer. We're done with that. So I say we'll take a quick little break before we actually get into the session stuff. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, and we will see y'all then. Let's shift the vibe a little bit. It's year 2. There are first years filling the campus, what feel like waves of them. Some of your class sadly did not return. A couple of the parties got shifted around a little bit. Some people just weren't cut out to make it. But you guys are good. So, really quick, just because I didn't give the opportunity to call it out for absolutely everyone, we saw Gwen's notable change. Zim is bigger. She has a missing horn. Lucian, give us that update on your character. What's changed about him over the past couple months? Not just what have you done, but what's new within or on him?
He's looking a lot skinnier. He was already quite skinny, but he's looking a lot skinnier.
Is he okay?
Yeah, you're right, mate. What's going on?
Gwen, cook more.
All right, on it.
And that's about it really. He's just looking skinny and just knackered and tired, and just his eyes seem to be like squares, but they're not actually squares. But yeah, you can tell he's really good eyes. Always got like bloodshot eyes. That's it.
For sure. Athira, what has changed with you? Obviously, we kind of already saw it, but you can, put pen to paper and tell us directly.
Yeah, so all of my self-studying about people and social things, trying to hone my skills with interacting and mediating, because our party is really bad at getting along together. So she's stretching that muscle. She talks a little bit more, not always really well, but she's trying.
You
For
really
sure.
did try. Bravo.
Thanks.
Next up, Leo. Please tell us a little bit about how Leo's different from the last time we saw him.
Leo has his hair's grown out a bit, so he now has it like up in a man bun, like a half
I was
man
thinking
bun. I
like
guess
an
it is.
emo cut, but like a little scene
No.
thing going in front of your eyeballs.
I'm imagining the like
Your breakup.
I'm imagining the Aaron Yeager, like the half bun with a couple strands falling in the front.
Right.
No wonder.
Eren Yeager.
No wonder everyone's fawning over him.
And then he walks around a lot more confidently now, I guess. I mean, after all the training over the summer and stuff, he's come back like way more muscular and built, I guess.
But not as muscular as your brother.
I'm sure
I
he
didn't-
loves hearing
I
that.
didn't say it. I didn't say it. Just because it's true doesn't mean you have to say it.
Hey, we saw that bonus to your sword attack. We know.
Hell yeah. Ava, what has changed about you now that the party is back together?
Okay. Her hair is darker red now, really, really dark red, and she is wearing much darker makeup. Black lip instead of her like reds. While we were fighting, I guess you guys would have seen she was like, her armor was a black leather one piece like cat suit with spikes all up and down it. And her demeanor, I guess in general, she pretty angry, maybe a little bloodthirsty to her aura there. The RBF is constant. That resting bitch face.
For sure, for sure. And then I believe last but not least, Rosaris.
Obviously, the main difference now is at the very beginning of the summer, I had the half plate made out of Kruthic. Now it's full Kruthic plating. Just the plating makes it to where I have like points sticking out at my elbows, my knees, and things like that. Now that I have the Dread Helm, it kind of matches the scary theme. And I think as far as physically, I've kept my hair at sort of its military cut length. And then when I took off the helmet, you definitely noticed a few more scars than I had, which was very sad considering how many scars I already had to begin with. But I spent way too much time at the Coliseum, so I've gained a few new scars and maybe a burn mark from a specific cleric who wanted to get a little bit of payback.
Yeah, I fully believe it. Well, to give you guys a recap, because you told me what you did over the summer, we're actually picking up in the second weekend that you're back on campus. You guys got sent out on this mission to help Jasper, but since coming back, like I said, there are droves of first years. I'm not saying that this is like a huge or massive school, but just coming back onto campus and having even just 20 of them feels like a ton of new people. You knew everyone on campus, and now there's so many new ones. So there is a good number of them walking around. They have like these bright, excited eyes. They're so ready and excited to be here, and you guys are walking around kind of emo, tired, broken horn, scary helmet. It's interesting. One of the first
We're not
things.
even the fourth years.
No, it's year 2.
Bad.
One of the first things that does happen to you guys is you get pulled in for a second year orientation with Loomis, and he sits you guys down. It's a very informal meeting. The freshman orientation, like the first years, it's this big event. They have the scavenger hunt. Second year is like, hey, you don't have homeroom anymore. Congrats, you're welcome. You can take more classes and be fine. But he tells you guys a couple of things to quote what he would say, but I'm not going to set up the entire situation. You guys are just like in one of the bigger classrooms, like maybe even just the training hall. No seats are set up. You guys just kind of like all pile on the floor. And Loomis teleports in, talks to you guys. He's wearing like slippers, khaki shorts, and like a half unbuttoned shirt. Shades on. He takes them off. There's another set of shades underneath. He sets one in each pocket in his shirt. But he tells you guys that you are no longer children like you were when you first got here. But now you are young adults who happened to have survived and passed your first year at this somewhat rigorous school. So he gives you congratulations, condolences, commemorations, whatever that word means. But he does tell you guys your second year will undoubtedly be much harder. It will give you more trials and tribulations. It is a true test and testament to your strength. You have proven that you're capable of survival, just scraping by and making it to the second year. But from second to third is where you really test who can make it at the school. So now you're not just tested on your ability to scrape by, but to succeed well beyond what you are expected of. So he tells you to go, be on your way, study up, train, and that he hopes to have the same talk with you a year from now. He gives you a little toodles, waves his hand, and then pop out of the room again. So, you guys are back on campus, kind of just adventuring around. Anything that you guys want to do now that you have a little bit of time to sort of sit and relax. You finish this mission early, you don't have classes for a couple days. Take it away. Y'all are back together for the first time in almost 2.5 months.
I'm gonna go and find Leo and take him aside a bit and be like, Leo,
Lucian.
do you have like a roommate this year yet?
Nah, no, not yet.
Do you want to like, share the same room?
Yeah, I'm down.
I need someone that's like quiet. I'm up quite late most days.
Okay.
It'd be
Sure.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Yeah.
Okay, we can go and ask. Cool.
So you guys
Not a
go.
roommate.
You ask Mr. Green if you guys can room together, and he says, "Ooh, a wizard and a cleric. This isn't really normal." I tell you what, Lucian. I know you have Professor Barron. Go ask him, because the only way I see this working is if he individually pulls you guys into his personal dorm, which is basically just like a large house on campus.
I'll go and ask.
Yeah, you head up to Barron's dorm. As a matter of fact, as long as you guys don't want to say no to this, you all signed up for 4 classes, but you saw a 5th on your schedule. Professor Barron signed you guys up for his personal planar studies class. Normally, it's something that you have to like get approved to take, but considering the events of last year, he thought it fitting to invite you guys to take it. It is not mandatory, but he figured that having the whole party there would definitely be fun and interesting for you guys.
I'm still
It's a
wearing my
really
armor
short
class.
class since it's only one plane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's quite interesting.
yeah,
This is just a week-long class.
yeah.
I was thinking like a day, like one study session.
Well, I guess if you don't want to try.
Okay.
So to give you guys some insight, Baron is still the name and figure that he's always been, but he's kind of seen a little bit less around campus. He seems just a little bit more kind of reserved in his tower, doing his studies. He has his simulacrum go and teach his classes some days. Just kind of seemingly like more tired. It seems like his old age might be catching up to him a bit, which is, I don't think you guys know how old he is, but it's rude to ask, so don't, obviously. But you go up to Baron's tower. He is sitting up there. He's talking with Cilia a little bit, and as you guys pop up, Cilia kind of gives you a wave and says, I'll give you guys some space. She snaps her fingers, turns invisible, and then heads off somewhere else in the tower. Baron looks to you and he says, "Well, my dear students, what can I do for you?"
Baron.
Lucian?
Can me and Leo be like roommates?
Did Mr. Green send you my way?
Yes, sorry.
Right.
Bro's lying.
Deception.
Baron smiles at you a little bit and he says, "Well, as of right now, I only have 2 living in my dorm building, and it has room for 4, so I could easily be convinced. I do need to ask beforehand, though, are you quiet and respectful of the area around you?"
I'll look at Leo.
Of course.
Yes. You know.
He was heard walking up from 3 miles away. Don't let
Clink,
him.
clink, clink, clink. Thunder rumbles every time he sneezes. Baron says, "I can tentatively say yes, but I'm ultimately going to leave it up to the upperclassmen who live there. There is I don't think we have a word for it. Do you remember Ziraleth, the Paragon, last year? The wizard student,
Anything?
girl, long brown hair, big glasses. Well, she is studying again as a 5th year, I suppose, which is not really a thing. She's more of my apprentice at this point, helping me teach some of my classes when I don't feel up to it. And maybe someday she will join the, wizarding professors here. But she is living there with the Paragon this year, Galadir, so I can tentatively say yes, but if they make any complaint, then I will move you guys back into your old building, Leo.
Sure.
That works.
That's fair.
Right? Well, I will send the letter to Mr. Green. We'll get it cleared away. You guys can go get your things in there. Just a warning, Ziraleth can be incredibly, compulsively tidy. So be sure to pick up after yourselves. Do not track mud. Do not write on the walls. Do not paint anything.
No, that works for me.
Great.
I'm very
Yeah.
clean.
Right.
Same.
Well, I will send the letter. Should be arranged by tomorrow. Oh, that does remind me. I needed to call you in. I had a student ask to meet with you, and Professor Ranth and I both have a request of your party. Would you guys mind meeting in Ranth's office tomorrow afternoon? We'll say after lunch, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that works.
Great. That sounds
You
excellent.
okay?
No, I'm completely fine.
Okay.
Are you okay? You've lost weight, which is concerning.
Food is secondary. It's
I promise you it is not. You do know you need carbohydrates to sustain mental capacity, right?
See?
Are you on a keto diet?
No, I don't know what keto means.
Good. Ketosis is short sustained. It is not healthy for you long term. Just promise me you will eat at least the bare minimum. We have plenty of druids who can cast good berry. It will at least nourish you.
I'll make a certain effort to do it.
Good. Now, I have plenty of things to bother myself with. I will see you tomorrow afternoon.
See you then.
He
Mary.
gives you a little wave. You guys head out. As you're leaving, Cilia is like perched up on a bookshelf, sees you guys pass, and gives you a wave.
Is he alright? Is Baron alright?
I think he's sick. He might have a cold. Which is weird because I've never seen him sick before.
Interesting.
I don't know. He's always stressed out. My dad is being an asshat like normal, and he has to teach half the wizarding classes because no one else is qualified to do it. So, and then the whole thing in Valenrun's got him on edge. So I don't know. I think he's okay. It's just we'll give him time. So, did you guys get in? Are you living in his dormitory?
We are.
Fantastic. I wish you the best of luck.
Insight check.
Why do we need luck? Why do we need luck? Why? Why are you wishing us
Insight
luck?
check. Come on, I'm
Um,
insight check.
Leogrin, I don't know how to tell you this without being blunt, but you're living with the upperclassmen wizard students, and wizards are known for being Lucian.
I've lived in Valorant.
Exactly. They are meticulous and tedious and a little hard to work with sometimes, myself included. They are set in their mindset and often don't change. Along with that, there's going to be a lot of like random magic happening around, and you just have to accept it.
We're a wizard and a cleric. We're fine. We're using this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I don't need to roll an insight check to know that you're not confident in that. Anyway,
I'm not worried at all.
then you're either really brave or really dumb.
I was being sarcastic.
I can't tell.
Sorry.
Anyway, no. Things will be fine. Y'all just go about your days. I'll see you in class.
Cheers.
Shoot.
So you guys depart and head out. Anybody else? You got any stuff you want to do around campus before heading back to the grind of constant missions and classes?
I need to talk to
Out
Lasilda.
there That I'm visiting my girlfriend, bitch.
Since you guys just had one, we'll put that on the back. We'll add it to the queue.
Yeah.
Ava, you're visiting Tara, who is now a paragon. She is incredibly busy. Paragons are, for lack of better term, actually their party name, which has caught wind around campus, is Failsafe, because when the campus has an objective or an achievement or a mission that they know they can't fail, the Paragons are who get sent. So she is pretty busy, but you manage to snag her for just a little bit of time before she has to prep for her next mission or helping with the next sorcery class. She obviously greets you with like a big hug, kisses you straight on the mouth in front of a bunch of first years. A couple of them walking by are just like, "Oh,
Oh. My bad.
I could not tell who that was that made that noise.
It was
Oh,
either
man.
Glenn or Izzy. It might have been both.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I just thought we were just saying that. I didn't know that you were gonna make me roleplay this.
I mean, you don't have to. You can just tell us, what do you guys do? Do you just like go on a cute little date?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if she has time for me,
She'll make time.
make a little bit of time. Okay,
Yeah.
and we'll very publicly go out together.
She like looks up at the sun. She's like, you know what? We can go get food because I haven't eaten since lunch yesterday. So I should probably do that before I go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you guys grab some like food from a cafe. You go sit on a little center island on campus, lean up against a tree, eat some food, and you have a cute little date watching the sunset. Cute, cute, cute. Stole it from my own first date. Cute.
Super cute.
Honey.
Not to gas
I like
myself
it.
up. I'm not even really the one who planned it.
Wow.
Before we get back to Leo, anyone else want to make the rounds here?
Answer my question, shorty.
What was your question?
I put it in game chat.
Oh,
I
what?
like added you.
We will say that this is like the day and day after of the mission.
Okay, whatever. I was just gonna go to the nurse,
Yeah.
but fine.
No, you can do that. I said this is the day of and day after of the mission, so you guys teleport back to
Oh,
the
I
school.
thought you said the day after.
Day of and day after. So
Okay.
Gwen is a little wounded, a little hurt.
Yeah.
Tell me all about it. I'm making
Gwen
you describe
Bust
this
open those doors.
straight to the healing
Nick,
ward.
help! I've been hurt. I need help.
You bust through, you dramatically, I'm hurt. And one of the little workers who's like a second year cleric, he's sitting there. He's got like this shaggy brown hair, almost like a bowl cut, and he looks really confused at you, seeing that you're obviously not hurt. And then you hear a voice in the back just go, I've got it. And he sits up, and then the like 6'1", he's got like very angular features, long red hair. Marnik, the third year cleric now, walks forward and like leans against the desk as you're like sprawled out against a chair, and he looks at you and he goes, I don't see any missing limbs. I don't see any open wounds. Your horn is healing just fine.
Gwen lifts up her finger. I got a paper cut.
Bring it here.
She gives him her hand.
He takes it, he like sets it flat with your palm facing up on the desk, and he like takes his finger and just gently presses it against your fingertip, a tiny little bit of healing magic, and it closes up, and your maybe one missing hit point is returned. He holds it up for you to look at, and he goes, is that better now?
Yeah. Do you think I'll get tetanus?
I hope so.
Okay, that's crazy. Anyways, would you maybe want to go to a second dinner?
So, are you just going to repeatedly come in here, get healed, and say you owe me a favor and take me for free food?
Maybe.
Well, the healing ward doesn't.
I don't want to.
The healing ward does not pay for volunteer hours, so free food is always a good bet. I will take you up on your offer.
All right, when? Do you want to go now? 'Cause we can go now.
I am stuck here for another 2 hours, so it'd have to be after that.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye. I'll see you at the Nura house after I get off.
All right. See you later.
I'm ordering drinks. I just hope you know.
Okay. As long as you're paying.
He raises an eyebrow at you and then kind of waves you off. He goes back. The other guy comes back in and takes his spot. Marnik goes back in to the healing ward and disappears to do his duties. later that evening, you guys do meet up at Nura House like 2.5 hours later. You're waiting there for him for about 15 minutes. He finally shows up, sits down. He orders some food, orders some drinks. You guys talk a little bit. Give me an insight check if you would be so kind.
Dude. Whatever.
Need a wing woman. It's just like
Help me.
I mean,
totally
Athera
into it.
is studying like social interactions. I guess this would be a really good
She probably
opportunity.
would be like, do you mind if I just like watch? from the corner?"
Can I watch from like 3 feet away?
Be like a weird creep. I got a 13.
Okay. You guys are sitting there, and he's giving his usual like dry, sarcastic remarks, saying that he's just there for the free food and the free drinks. He's got, plenty of things that he could be doing right now. But there's something about the fact that he still showed up and didn't immediately leave after his drinks were empty. He might be having a little bit of a good time, but he's certainly not going to show that.
Okay. I'll take it.
We take those.
Yeah, we take those. It's a dub.
Passing the metaphorical torch along the line. Anybody else?
Athera would be spending the time at like whatever. I think there's like a cafe type ish place, or it's the pub or whatever.
The exact place that Gwen's at?
I was gonna do this before that happened. I'm just putting it out there.
I'll take it, yeah.
She's got a notebook, and if someone were to like actually be able to read it, she's making notes of the interaction between Ava and Leo first, and she's like, it's like, used restraint application for first time. Not really sure if it worked or was a negative, and like it's all of these detailed thought through notes. Can I be there at the same time that Gwen was there?
You
as well?
absolutely can.
Yes.
Please give me an insight check.
Yeah. 30-20.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
For the most part, this is literally just Marnik's personality. He doesn't really enjoy anything, and he is very dry and very sarcastic. But occasionally, you do see like the slightest hint of a smirk as he's like bringing his glass up to take a drink. He's never gonna laugh at a joke that Gwen makes, but you do see him like
That's crazy.
a couple of times.
Chill.
He does have to like restrain it. At least Gwen's instinct was saying he might be enjoying this a little bit. You're able to pick out that like if he wasn't enjoying this, he probably would have left 20 minutes in, and it's been an hour.
I like flip a page in my journal and like put a heading in, and I write Gwen and Marnik, and underneath I write Marnik is totally into Gwen. This is going to be a ride.
Love it. Continuing, I guess Rosario, you're the last one. You got anything?
The only two things I can think of, one is really quick. I would go look for Kata and ask her how things went.
Yeah. You run around campus looking for Kata. You actually can't find her or Sivik.
That's unfortunate.
Right.
Cool. At some point, I'm gonna buy a sending scroll and just send her a message, telling her like, where is she? School starting. I'll do that at some point over the course of the few days, and then the only other thing is, I would probably, if Echo was free, do our training date that she promised me, and if not, gather up all the first year martial characters, and we're starting training.
Oh boy.
For the sending scroll, I'll say that you do have that like training date with Echo tonight. You guys are gonna go off and like spar, and you're told her like, I specifically don't want you to hold back as much. I'm a second year now. I want to test myself. So that kind of puts a like slight pause on your sending scroll thing. But you could absolutely be like, hey Lucian, will you make me one? Here's the gold or something like that if you want to before the date.
Yeah, I'd probably do that just over the course of. At some point, if Lucian could get that back to me, and I can mark off the gold for it.
Yep. I think they take.
I can send him for free as long as he doesn't mind me knowing what's in the message.
Sure. It's just, Kata, report in. Where are you at? Why aren't you here? I'm gonna kill Sivik if he did anything to you.
So no.
Cool. You send it off. You don't get an immediate response, so Rosarius, you dip out. I'll tell you if you get one back.
I don't like the
Rosarius,
sound of that.
you have your little training date with Echo. You know what? I want to let you tell me how you set things up and how you have it structured.
I think it would just be I gravitate to going there because I know she trains just as much as I do. So in my free time, I spend as much time in the training hall as I can, hoping that she'll come by at some point. And then that one time that she finally does, I just don't give her the chance to say no. I just walk up to her and say, "You promised," and then grab her and take her out to the training hall, like to the middle of the floor, and just pull out my greatsword.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna slightly change this. I'm gonna say that she walks in and is over getting her stuff ready, and you just finished up on a dummy. You don't think she's like seen you yet because she's walking over to just where the gear is. You start by running up, taking a swing. Give me an attack roll with advantage.
Well, I dropped the d20, grab another one. Natural 1. Natural 3.
Damn. You know
Where's
what?
that other dice at? I want that one back.
It is kind of fitting. You
Yeah, she's gonna kick my butt. I know.
Yeah, you run over and like you watch as like one of her ears, they're like the half elf kind of pointed ears, like perks up, and she turns and sees you out of the corner of her eye. You go to swing and she just pulls back and like pushes your sword away from her, spins around you, draws both her weapons. One of them is glowing with fire, and she says, "I'm not holding back this time, right?"
No, neither am I. And I'm gonna just keep going. We'll go back and forth, and I'll lose within 2 turns of combat.
Yeah.
We
I'm
don't
gonna
have to roll it out.
for-
We know what's gonna happen. It's fine.
Yeah, she hits a nasty hit on you. She's going to deal a lot of damage. You guys go back and forth, and she ultimately puts you on your ass despite your new cool armor. She still just like dances around you. She's too fast. That's the problem. Is she's not only pretty strong, she's also very speedy. So she knocks you down a little bit, sheaths her weapons, helps you up, and she says, "You know, you could at least get me ready for our little date first."
But if you get ready, then I'm gonna lose a lot faster, and that means the date ends faster.
She smiles a little bit, draws her weapon again, and immediately starts attacking you. You guys go back and forth over and over again. Now bringing it back to Leo. You said you wanted to talk to Lucilda, right?
Yes.
Cool. Weirdly enough, give me a religion check.
Fucking shit, when 10.
Cool. On a 10, I'm not going to tell you anything specific. But I am going to say that when you guys get back to campus, there are some storm clouds overhead, there's a light rain, and as the evening trails on, the rain picks up, thunder cracking every once in a while. A pretty decent storm. We're getting close to like nighttime now. This is after you talk to Baron and everything like that. So with that being said, on a 10, I will list the options for you, but I'm not going to tell you where she is. I'm going to see if you, as a player, can tell me where you think she would be.
I'm fucked.
There's the library, there's the training hall, there are like plenty of spaces out in the woods, out kind of closer to the storm where she could be training, or she might be in the chapel praying. Where do you think you would find her?
Chapel. Praying.
You head to the chapel, you kind of look around. There are a couple of first-year clerics in here who are looking around just like, "Oh man, it's so pretty in here, the stained glass, the little altars and statues." You see a couple of them side-eyeing the one that Lucilda and you, over the course of the first like semester, set up for Cortez. It's just like a tiny little table altar with like a small hammer, a like spear on the side of it is set up, and you don't see anyone there. It is empty.
Interesting.
But as you look at that and you see that it is getting into nighttime, you hear that the cracking of thunder and like the flashes of lightnings that are happening around campus do ever so slowly at least lessen. It is still raining over the course of the night, but the thunderstorm settles down a little bit. There's still a couple of rumbles every now and again, but nothing major.
What were the other places?
There was the library, the training hall, and just around campus, like outside.
Outside, somewhere closest to the storm is what I'm gonna say. She might be.
Cool. You head out from campus. You just kind of like take a little walk through the forest. It is kind of dark and hard to see, but even with your dark vision and the rain and everything, it's very difficult. You're walking around. You don't find her, but at one point you do notice that there are a little like cluster of trees where it looks like lightning has struck them a couple of times and they're like peeling away. A couple of the branches are broken off. Like there's a just section here where the storm seems to have struck multiple times. Give me a perception check.
18.
You walk up to these trees that have been struck repeatedly by lightning. You see the like scarring, the spreading of where the electricity went throughout the bark, broke through the inside. And you see that along those patterns, at almost each point where it seems to start at, there are the markings of a sword, like cutting into the tree.
She was definitely here.
So, not being able to guess where she was at, I'm going to say that you know she's around and you can see the effects of her being here, but you did not find her. You went to the chapel and she was out praying in her own way, I guess we'll say. So with that, we're going to bring things back. The group gets called back into Rant's office. And with that being said, you all come in. Ooh, music's a little loud. And as you get in, there are three figures in the room. There is Professor Barron sitting next to Professor Rant, who's at her desk. Barron has like a little book open. And there is one of your fellow second years, a warlock student. He has like the medium length blonde hair that's pushed back. He's got like a bright, charming smile. He wears these nice, like form-fitting colored like tunic and pants and belt and things. He kind of greets you guys and gives you a wave. You guys might know who he is. His name's Ravik. But
He's
all
the prince guy.
Do what?
The prince guy?
He is a prince. Yeah, you know him.
Is he Drake's brother?
Yep, he is Drake's little brother.
Ooh,
I knew it.
Danny knowing all the students.
Wow.
Someone
Oh, God.
I
studied
don't remember
up.
anyone's name.
I really did.
But yeah, Ravik Alistrad, the younger brother of Drake Alistrad, who Kieran interacted with in like our first couple of sessions. He's sitting in this office waiting for you guys, just like the two professors. So they kind of like greet you guys. Baron is finishing up whatever he's writing, so he is going to take a second. Rant gives you guys a friendly little wave. She starts the conversation. She's like, hey, we haven't had the opportunity to talk much since you guys got back. How was the Eorsha trip after I left?
Frogs.
Found the
Frogs.
frogs that I didn't know were people.
I mean, kind of. If it helps you at all, they're not considered like, you know, humans, elf, dwarves, the like humanity races. They're not in that umbrella. They are creatures. They're just,
You can say that to Professor Cloud.
They have
yeah, he would be the first to attest. He is an
Okay.
exception.
I am very confused and concerned as to why one of those work here.
Because he's incredibly smart and gifted.
Oh, so he's
I
not
know you
like
just
the
said
one.
one of those, by the way. You guys need to. Whoa.
I
Yeah,
don't
Be
know
careful.
like that.
Listen,
They're humanoid.
Gwen has a dragon. That is a creature. But Zim is intelligent, is he not?
Yeah, he just has a damaged throat, so he can't really talk to
Yeah.
people.
Professor Gilnick, the goblin rogue professor, she would be the first to tell you that goblins are like evil, chaotic beings. There are just exceptions to the rule.
Right.
So, all of that off track. Sorry, Professor Barron like closes the notebook and sits up straight a little bit. Ranth looks at you guys and she's like, "Hey, so called you in here for a mission, but Ravik actually wanted to talk to you guys. He has something to give you. We didn't pry about details. He said he'll only be here for a minute." You guys turn and Ravik is sitting there just kind of like politely waiting and smiling. He gives you a little bit of an awkward wave and he's like, "Yeah, hey, so I had something I wanted to hand delivered to you guys, and I don't mind the professors being here. I know you're close to them." He pulls a little letter out of the bag that he brought, and on the front you can see a very fancy script with this beautiful gleaming ink, and it says Marcel across the front.
What's that?
He holds it out to
Still
you
alive.
guys. And he says, Robik's like, "Yeah, so I saw Marcel back in Riverhold, where I'm from, because the princes are all having to meet up and sort of plan. I'm sure Marcel will tell you about it, but Ballinrun's just kind of gearing whatever military forces they can under their control, and the 3 cities are going to be the first for that. So my older brother, Marcel, and I think you guys remember me. Remember John, the paladin? Yeah, we all had to meet up and talk, and Marcel asked me to deliver this to you, and I just haven't got the chance to find you yet. So, here you go."
I'll take it.
He gives it to you, and he says, "Well, hey, that's like all I really had to do, but Marcel talked really highly of you guys, so he kind of eyes each of you in the group a little bit, and he gives you guys a really friendly smile. He's like, don't be strangers, I'm still here, same as you guys, chugging along the warlock track, just me and Talon, the only students left. So I could
That's
really use some
unfortunate.
friends."
There's
You're
only
welcome
2
to my dorm
warlocks?
anytime.
Whoa,
What?
Gwen, that's our dorm now. Don't you
But
think you
just to
should
be
ask?
friends. Just
You can
not
also
be like,
come
hey,
to
can we
mine,
come in? You
too.
can say yes or no.
You're
I-
a prince,
Well, now
right?
it's
You can
weird
come
if
to
I say
mine.
no.
I am a prince, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, you look very fancy. So,
thanks.
we could be good friends. Actually, we should meet up sometime.
Oh, she's just trying to get your money.
On a 5
Yeah.
insight check, he's like, "Hey, I appreciate a friendly gesture. I just listen. My party is really bad, if I can be honest with you. They suck. I'm not asking to join your party. I just would like to socialize with someone else."
Is Jeremiah in your party?
No, I have
Talk to him.
Billy and
Oh.
Elvin
Oh,
and
Dear Lord.
Asta.
Ooh.
Asta's not bad. The rest of
Austin's
them
pretty cool.
She's
Yeah.
cool. She's a little mean.
That's fair. Talk
I-
to Jeremiah. You would like him.
I will. I'll certainly do that.
Maybe cast like bark skin next time you talk to her or something.
That feels like a pun that I don't get.
Stone
then
skin?
well, let's do that.
I don't know.
I could try. I don't know. I don't really know what I can do either. Anyway, I'm gonna head out now. Just wanted to extend the offer, ask for the offer, I guess. I'll see you guys around. I'll be anywhere but hanging out with my party.
Aww.
Alright, sounds good.
Good.
It was really sad.
He waves to you guys and ducks his head a little bit and heads out. Baron lets out a deep sigh after he leaves. He's just like,
What's that mean?
Was that one of your parties?
He mentioned Billy and Nelvin, and they are a handful. Lucian, have I mentioned that you're my second favorite second-year student?
I knew it.
Who's your first? Second?
Leo,
think
are you
Celia is
as
probably-
obtuse as they say?
Yeah, really, guys? Really?
Who's first? Oh, you're... Okay, yeah. Okay.
Rance like looks at you guys kind of just a little condescendingly, just like, you'll get it eventually. She pipes up, she says, we'll give you guys a second, you can read over the letter and stuff, and then obviously we have our little request, so if you want the room, you can step outside, or yeah, I guess it's still a little rainy, you can go up to the hallway upstairs, don't go in my room.
I don't think.
But your room's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Gwen, don't tell them that.
Okay, sorry.
Especially when you're opening a
My
letter
bad.
from Marcel.
Wait, how do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Don't worry about it.
Nothing.
Haven't you ever been in your professor's room?
You guys walk past my room almost every
Share
time you
milk and
see me.
cookies? Yeah, Baron's got a point.
I'll go up the corridor.
Yeah, you guys just walk upstairs. You don't go into the door to the bedroom upstairs, but you just kind of sit up like on top of the little stairs that wind up. Lucian, are you the one who opens the letter?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm not going to read in Marcel's voice, but you guys can imagine. Marcel was obviously very outwardly spoken, ostentatious. I'll do my best to replicate it. So it's written in this really nice, extravagant ink that seems to like glitter and shine even without the lights moving on it. But it reads, "Hey guys, I'm sorry that I couldn't stick it out with you all, but after what happened in Grey Run, I can't stand the thought of something happening to my family and me not being there to help them. Most of them can protect themselves, but like Elise, ... New paragraph. Hope you all are doing great and continuing the fun, wacky adventures we started together. I would offer for you all to come and visit again, but I sadly don't think that's really possible right now. Fallon Run has been prepping for war for the past few months, and the royal families of the three cities are kind of the front line for that. The Seven Kingdoms are currently voting whether or not to launch the entire nation into this war or to disband it, and Valenrun has already cast their vote, so the others are probably soon to follow. I would ask you to pray for our future, but the only religious person in the party is Leo, and his god would probably love a war, so just keep your fingers crossed, I guess. I miss you all, and I would much rather be back at the school than here, but you guys helped me learn something about myself. I have a duty here, to protect the ones that I love. And I'm not going to let anything bad happen to them just because I wanted to run away and avoid the responsibilities that should have been given to me. I truly wish you all the best, and I hope that you don't get tangled in a complex web like I have. Stay safe out there, and keep being the heroes I know you to be. Your friend, Marcel. And then at the bottom, on either side of his name, is a tiny little... The ink is glowing and moving, and it is a little dancing Marcel on either side of his name. Lucian, will you give me a perception check?
15.
Ooh. You are holding the paper and you feel a second paper behind this one that was kind of like almost hidden. Like the papers were not necessarily stuck together, but it was like almost made to look like one. But you feel a second one moving as you hold it.
Should I try and peel it?
Yeah. You peel it a little bit, and there is a second letter secretly attached to the first one. It reads, "Additionally, I wanted to give a specific remark to Lucian and Rosaris. I think I need your help. Jacques and I have kind of broken up. He doesn't want to talk to me. He stopped letting me cast magic. Ever since I started training with the army in Terra's Weight, he's just been kind of gone. Lucian, you're the smartest person I know, most of the time. And if you have any way to help me find out how to wake him up, to bring him back, please say something. I'm not as good at this magic stuff as you are. Terra's Weight has plenty of resources, so whatever magic you can pull off, I can fund. I don't really trust my family to help me with this. And I know visiting might be incredibly difficult, but any words of wisdom you might have, I'll gladly take. In a different paragraph, it says, Rosaries, I don't know everything about paladins, but I remember you taking your oath in class, and you told me that was where your power came from. With that being said, do you think it's possible that I broke some sort of unspoken promise to Jacques? Am I doing the wrong thing? And then the rest of the page is empty. Message ends there.
What do you think about that, Bazaris?
He seemed magically like a warlock, but I don't know how warlocks work. I know mine is like a deal. We're kind of like warlocks, but I don't make a written contract. But then again, it seemed like he doesn't remember ever making a contract either.
Speaking of, the common knowledge about warlocks is that there is some sort of contract that's like the understood underlying system of how they get their power. But the vast majority of warlocks that you've talked to and encountered here at the school never had a physical contract or anything that they signed. Like, I'll even tell you guys, Talon, she tells you guys that she actually met her little pseudo-dragon companion, Lemmy, in the mountains near her home, and then adopting him was what gave her her powers as a warlock. So, like, Marcel definitely would have told you guys, like, he's never signed a contract. It's not that there's, like, a gap in his memory. He didn't think there was one. He thought Jacques just picked him, but this kind of insists potentially otherwise.
Well, if Jacques picked him, then Jacques can unpick him. So if that's the case, I don't see the difference between his warlock powers and my paladin powers. If I don't keep my part of the oath, my powers go away. If he doesn't keep whatever Jacques wanted him to do, Jacques, I guess, apparently took his powers away. But I've not heard anything about that before. In fact, the problem is we don't know what Jacques is.
I was about to say, are you saying Jock is the one that gives the powers, or Marcel linking himself to Jack is what gave him the powers?
I don't know. That's a Marcel question. I'm saying
that's
it's
me.
possible Jacques was the source giving the powers. But
Where'd you get your
We-
powers from, Rosaris?
I really don't know. It could be from Ilraz. He's the god of the protectors. Leo would probably like to think I get my powers from Corteus, since I tend to agree with a lot of the base beliefs.
Was there like
But in reality,
was there a ceremony you did?
yeah,
to vote
you
yourself?
were all there. I took my oath.
I can't remember it. My brain injury. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really annoying. But
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I kind of want to throw this out there just to see what happens. Lucian, will you make me a history check? Rosaris, what is your spell save DC?
14?
Cool.
Let me look.
That's the DC.
Yeah, it's
I
14.
rolled a 14. Okay.
Okay. Zach, will you just over the table tell Jambo, not the whole scene, it was in class, we know that, but just what your tenets were, if you have them handy.
So it was vigilance, loyalty, discipline. That's not the full one. Oh well. And then I believe it was. I know I had 5, but I can't remember the first one right now. And it was forfeiture. So I will stay vigilant and protect everything. I will stay loyal to my friends, protect them, never leave them. Discipline. I'll constantly hone body and mind to protect those I care about. In forfeiture, I gave up all rights to living a normal life, essentially.
Yeah, so to summarize it, and you can correct me if I'm sort of wrong about this, but it's essentially to prioritize protecting and helping others above your own self is Rosaris'.
Yeah. Mhm.
He's basically a Jedi.
Sure, I'll take that.
A little bit.
Do I know a god that has those kind of talents? Would I know any link between a god that has protection of people over themselves?
I will say Zach kind of listed them off. Based on your studies, you think that like the main ones that this could be is like Il-Raz is very popular because he's like a warrior type god who protects people. He's very honorable. There's Corteus, obviously, who's a little bit different. Instead of protecting people, he just goes out and attacks evil. There's also some other deep cut ones, like Madala's domain is like healing and health, so that could fit in there. And then there's a even smaller god, Berea. She's an ascended god, not a greater divine. So she's a deep cut. Not many people know about her, but she's the goddess of like justice and peace.
I was wrong. There's only 4 parts to my oath. I remembered them all. I win.
Okay.
If you have to ask me, I would say Il-Raz because that's what Balgaroth. He preferred Il-Raz over Corteus. I think with you passing that history check, you would also remember that Lasilda took the exact same core oath that I did and changed her extra words just a little bit. And that's why I mentioned Cortez. Again, I don't know where my powers come from. It's up to me to use it for good or for ill. And if I use it for ill, I don't get the powers anymore. So,
It's to decide what's good and what's not.
well, I get to decide it first, and whoever gives it to me gets to decide whether they agree or not. So,
So what you're doing right now is probably good in their eyes.
so far. If you want, you're more than willing to cast Detect Magic or Detect Good and Evil on my magic.
Yeah. Feel happy with that.
Sure. And I'll just pull out my greatsword slowly and load up, like, putting smite into the sword without actually, smiting.
I'll do protect good and evil. Protect good and evil.
So I'm going to let you know, this is going to be, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. This is something that would typically require thought. Zach and I established that for Rosaries, when he casts like Detect Good and Evil, it's not detecting the normal spell stuff. It's like Fae, Fiends, Celestials, Undead, like stuff like that. But obviously you guys don't deal with that very often. So I will let you recontextualize the spell. The way Zach does it, if I'm correct, is detecting... I think it's essentially like if someone is religious or like devoted to a religion. Or
Yeah,
like,
we called it essentially Detect Devotion.
yeah. So it basically detects like, do they worship or use magic from a like celestial or evil being? So you don't have to do that one, but how do you want to do this spell? Because I don't think that you could just cast it at first level and be like, oh, it's that god. There's no way for you to be able to identify that. But you could detect if they're like good aligned, or you could give me like a certain gradient, like selfish to selfless, something like that, and I could pinpoint it on that gradient for you, like where this magic is coming from.
I'll go with selfish. I want to know if this god's doing his own thing to benefit himself.
Hell yeah. You cast Detect Good and Evil, and you see Rosaries slowly start emitting these tiny little, almost like bubbles of invisible light that only you can see. On a gradient from selfish to selfless, Rosaries is getting his powers at the maximum end of selfless. Connecting that to his oath, you would assume that his powers are completely contingent on if I ever act in my own, I'm kind of missing the word here, but like if I act in my own interest above,
Self-interest,
helping others, that would go against everything I stand for. It's always the other person.
Okay. Well, I think I owe you an apology, Rosaries.
I know you do, and I accept it.
Thanks.
Just please don't make that mistake again.
Yeah, everyone has gaps in their knowledge, you know.
I'll attribute it to the brain damage, and we can leave it at that.
Fair enough. Just sorry again.
You're
I never do it
you're
again.
fine. Just remember, I don't think I'm better than you because I know how much work I've put in to get where I am. You spend all your time studying. I've had to spend all my time studying religion and studying with the sword. I don't think I'm better than you. I just know I work harder than anyone else because I need to be better than anyone else. And I'm not there yet.
And we can use we use a moral compass as well.
That is interesting thoughts.
If you do a bad thing, we know it's wrong because you lose your powers.
Yes, I would like to not get to that point.
Yes, that is.
Just to
you know,
open this up,
you know.
Lucian, I do think you would have read this letter from Marcel aloud to the rest of the party.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys want to join this conversation, you're all crammed in a small hallway together. This whole thing was audible to everyone.
Yeah. Me and Leo are in full armor, so it's very cramped. Anyone's thoughts? Because Marcel confused me as much through the letter as he did with his social interactions.
He asked for you and Lucian's advice, not mine, so I'll leave that to you. In other words, I'm just really confused about it as well.
Good.
And ask him when I can visit his sister again.
Probably after we're done with the transcontinental war that I accidentally started.
It's gonna be over some point soon, yeah?
You're highly
Yeah.
optimistic.
If- I will say, if it is, we've
Yes.
probably got a lot more issues on our hands than going to see his family.
Okay. Whatever.
I think what we probably need to do if we want to help Marcel, besides trying to stop the Church of Piran, that place underneath Plassar, we need to research more about that. Because whatever Jacques wanted was down there. And I think Marcel
That's
leaving it
true.
probably had to do with it.
The place with the weird, like, cat lady.
Yeah, the creature that Athera went off to talk to in private that she doesn't want us to know about.
Mm.
Maybe that was
That
the wrong
everybody knows
decision
about.
Marcel made.
This might be a point.
That's what I think.
Sorry, what, Lucian?
Interesting.
This might be a point for you to tell us what you had a conversation with about this thing.
It could be personal. Relax.
If it's personal, then fine. Then we'll ignore it. But if it's not,
This has nothing to do with Marcel or.
okay.
Well, I promise.
Okay.
Could have been about her dad. Could have been about the stinky druids back home.
We're well aware that she doesn't trust us to bring us to deal with her stuff. We're well aware. If that's the case, then so be it.
Are you mad about the whole Aosha thing again? Because I told you already that was Gwen's fault.
Yeah,
Look.
sorry.
You don't trust me, that's fine. Tell me next time. My whole oath is about protecting people, and two people that I promised to protect by putting your name on my arcane focus disappeared.
Listen, I just got bonked on the head really hard. Not as much as Lucian, but they took my horn. That's about it.
Bad, Gwen.
They took your horn?
Yeah.
Could
Did
have
you
been
forget
much
already?
worse.
We had a conversation, yeah. The druids took it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The bad
Why
ones.
are we
not-
here again? What are we doing?
Yeah, we probably should go
Let
talk to our mission.
Why are we in this really small hallway? I really don't want to be this close to everybody.
Oh, and I'll give you a big
You,
hug.
think you
and
don't
walk
want to be
down.
close to me? Whoa.
Stop.
Thought we were friends.
You guys walk downstairs
I
and
love
you
you.
see that Professor
Great.
Barron and Ranth are now playing like chess on an illusory chessboard that he's summoned. He's just casually moving pieces and Ranth is like thinking really hard. Right as you guys get down, he kind of sits up a little bit straighter, moves a piece, and then Ranth just looks for a second, dumbfounded, and just goes, "Shit!" And then the board disappears, and she shakes Barron's hand. They look at you guys, and Ranth speaks up. She says, "Well, I'm glad that letter had a lot of important stuff in it. You guys were up there talking up a storm."
I mean, it only had to do with the transcontinental war and how he needs our help.
Yeah, Baron's told me about that. It's be the first one in any of our lifetimes, I guess. Well, not Baron. Sorry, you're kind of old, so not yours. Well, no, you said
Rance should have
transcontinental.
moved.
Baron holds up his hand. He's like, "That is correct. I have yet to experience a transcontinental war, but a civil war I did get to see." Anyway, mission for you all. I just received word not even 2 days ago now, a letter from Syvik's family. Well, not a letter, a sending, and they requested our confirmation that Syvik, Dennis, and Kata made it back to the school. They said that they were supposed to be writing letters back home at integral stops, and they should have made it back right around move-in day, just over a week and a half ago. But they have yet to show up to campus, so their parents are deeply concerned. It could just be that they're running behind, but it's better safe than sorry. So if you would like to take lead on this, I have already made the preparations. We have a professor with a teleport circle near Havix, where Syvik is from. You can take that, you can travel there yourself, but it will be a pretty arduous journey. About 3 weeks.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, sure, we're good, we're good.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
We should probably prep a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Gotta
Oh, yeah.
prep the snacks.
It's a long time.
Then hurry up. We're leaving as soon as we're ready.
What can you tell us about this land?
Havix?
Yeah.
I would love to give you information, but it is ever-changing. The only bits that I truly know is that Loomis adores it. He thinks it's a wonderful place, so keep your eye out. And I'm glad it is your group going, because they have a lot of strange people there. I will let you ask your professor more questions. But for now, I think it would be best to go ahead and go to her room.
All right.
So, she is ready. She has the teleportation circle prepared. You guys can use it at any point. She should be home right now since it is the weekend, but it'll be Professor Corinth's. Bless you, Ava.
Sorry.
Or, sorry, you might not like that term. I wish you good
No.
health.
Thank you. We're good.
Well, go to Professor Corinth's room. You are free to use her teleporter at any point. She lives just less than an hour from Havix.
Not.
All right.
They're the plans we need, then
You know,
we're good to go.
Syvik's family is expecting you, so you'll be welcomed by them. Just let them know why you're there when you get to the city.
Are we getting the returning stones, or are we coming back on foot?
I have one, too. I have two.
We can provide some for you. I will get some ready and send someone with 6 for you all. Or
Dick.
None.
we'll
So
have
I need
3 extra, so 6 for all of you, and then 1 for each of Syvik, Denny, and Kata.
Mark.
What? Okay.
Great. Well, I figured you guys would be the best for this, as Rosaris, you are very close with Kata. Leo, you were roommates with Syvik. Hopefully it is a successful journey. I wish you the best. Now, it seems that you are eager to go. I will not hold you up anymore.
Does that mean we're your favorite group?
Obviously.
Guys, we don't have time for this. Let's go.
Ranth, I think you should have moved that horsey piece to the left instead, and I think you could have gotten it somewhere.
I'm gonna grab Gwen's arm and be like, "Come on."
She just mimics a mouth moving with her hand at you and waves you guys off.
I think I would have gone through the door and just like slammed it open, like accidentally unleashing a smite on the door as I slammed it open.
Yeah,
Whoa!
you turn the handle and push, and the door flies back, and like you hear a couple of cracking pieces in the hinge as Rosaris is just taking off to Professor Corinth's office. And we will actually end right there and pick up next session with you guys traveling to Huvix and seeing what's going on with Kata, Sivik, and Denny. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope it was fun. I hope it was awesome. Sorry we started a little bit late, but you know, personal lives sometimes. Excited to get into this next arc with everybody. It was fun. I loved it. So, I guess we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.